When my wife and I first found out that we were expecting, my perspective on busyness changed a lot. And that's because it became increasingly clear to me that busyness is a choice. And at the end of the day, we're busy because we choose to be, not because we are. However, in a lot of ways, it's easy for us to blame our busyness on the assumption that we don't have enough time in our day, rather than accepting it as a choice we made. For the last several months, my reality has been what I'm calling the busyness paradox, where I've felt this constant, overwhelming pressure to do a million things a day. But then after 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours of working nonstop, when I'm tired and finally winding down, I often realize that I didn't do much of anything at all. And on the days that this would happen, my frustration would boil like no other, leading me to believe and preach the same old tale. If only I had more hours in my day, then I'd be able to get everything done. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that it would be nice to have an extra 2 or 3 hours a day because as a night owl, I could use that time to get some additional sleep, right? But although we all wish we had more time in our day, we don't. We only get 24 hours. So it's crucial that we resist the urge to feel pressured by this limited time so we can make more of the time we have and break out of the coat that is busyness. Now, I don't know if you have kids yet or not, but for me, as a soon-to-be new dad, something I know for sure is that I don't want my son growing up wishing that dad wasn't so busy. So before my little man gets here in October, I've started to make some significant changes in my life by decluttering my commitments so I can commit to being committed to those things that actually matter. And that process is what I want to share with you. Because as I begin to make these adjustments in my life, I want this conversation to encourage you to do the same so you can ultimately live your life with more clarity while staying true to you and what's important to you. Before looking at your commitments and deciding what to cut out, it's important to get clear on what's important to you first. As I've said, one of my goals is to ensure my son doesn't feel like dad is always too busy. So in my case, family time is a priority that immediately jumped to the top of my list of core values when we found out we were expecting. This means that I've been adjusting my habits now before my son arrives to ensure my schedule reflects this value and new priority, which will hopefully make this transition for me much smoother once he's officially here. It's so easy for our commitments to take over our lives without us even consciously realizing it is happening. I've lost myself in my work more times than I like to remember, and it's impacted my sleep quite a bit. But something I've recently found useful is asking questions that help me define my priorities whenever I find myself in a situation where busyness is taking over my life. And one of my favorite questions to ask or think about is what is the likely outcome of making this current situation I'm in a priority, and what is the outcome if I don't make it a priority? I've always found in my life that making simple shifts in your thinking will compound into significant changes in your life. And questions like this one have definitely encouraged a few shifts in my thinking. Now, as an added bonus, I put together a priorities assessment, which is a PDF with a list of questions I found useful at helping you reassess your commitments and define your priorities. If you want to grab a copy, you can download it on my website at ronaldlbanks.com/priorities. Having a plan for your schedule and your time makes it so much easier to manage the busyness that can quickly clutter our lives. And I don't know about you, but for me, it takes no effort at all to allow my schedule to quickly fill up all of the available time in my day, which in the past has left me frustrated and wishing for more time in my day. But what I've learned, especially now that my life is changing, is that by having preset boundaries in place, I'm able to prevent my calendar from being taken over by the things that really don't matter to me, giving me the opportunity to commit to being committed to those things that do matter. Just because someone else is doing a zillion things and appears to be handling it all well, does not mean that is the direction you should go in. See, comparing your life and circumstances or accomplishments to someone else's is never going to end well. We were each created uniquely with different talents, desires, and capacities. In order to see those things through and reach our potential, we have to give up busyness by decluttering our commitments and then listening to our body's needs. The concept of self-care is something that I haven't seen talked about much amongst men. And it's unfortunate because self-care, when done right, can have a major positive impact on your life, your priorities, and how you view busyness. And I know this because I am a man who talked about self-care in this video here. And trust me, it's such a simple thing that will help you fill your life with more of what matters. So click that thumbnail and I'll see you over there. Keep growing, keep learning, and always stay true to you. Peace.